On the afternoon of June 8, 2024, in Vancouver, Washington, police received reports that Vadim Sashenko, 43 years old, and his ferocious German Shepherd were running loose and had bitten someone. When approached by the police, Sashenko raised what looked like a gun and pointed it at them. A police officer opened fire, hitting Sashenko, sending him to God at the scene. The aggressive dog was chased away with a foam baton and then taken to the Animal Protection Society. No police or passers-by were injured. On the afternoon of May 11, 2023, in Baltimore, police were summoned to McHenry Street following a report of an armed person. Detective Cedric Elby was talking to 17-year-old Mackay Franklin before the teenager ran away. During the chase, police asked Franklin to drop his weapon, but he did not comply. The police opened fire, shooting Franklin once. Franklin was taken to the hospital and his condition is stable. The gun Franklin was carrying was determined to be stolen. Detective Elby has been suspended pending investigation. On the morning of May 2nd, 2023, in Los Angeles, police received a report from an 18-year-old man that a man named Mason Todd Swenor, 23, had pointed a knife at him. When the police approached Swenor at the subway station, he disobeyed orders and ran away. On the run, Swenor attacked a 74-year-old woman and stabbed a 61-year-old man. In the end, Swenor was shot and arrested by the police after trying to attack them. He is currently being treated at the hospital in critical but stable condition. The other victims have also been treated and stabilized. Swenor was charged with attempted murder with bail set at $2,125,000.
And air unit that 1 unit is coming. And that already they can respond 50 per month. Just for
On the evening of July 22nd, 2022, in Los Angeles, police patrolling the area of Eastern Avenue and Whiteside Street discovered a vehicle without a license plate. While following, the front passenger, Lino Soltero, 40 years old, left the car with a gun and fled into a residential area. At the intersection of Lansdowne Avenue and Drucker Street, Soltero pointed a gun at police, leading to the shooting. Soltero was shot and returned to God at the hospital. Soltero's 9mm gun was recovered, and no officers were injured in the incident. On the afternoon of July 7, 2022, in Los Angeles, police responded to a call about a man wielding a knife in the area of Pico Boulevard and Sawtelle Boulevard. When the first sergeant arrived at the scene, he encountered Felipe Guerrero, 36, who was armed. Despite being ordered to stop, Guerrero still advanced toward the sergeant with the knife. The sergeant was forced to open fire, wounding Guerrero. Guerrero was taken to the hospital but did not survive. The knife was recovered at the scene, and the sergeant was also treated for injuries sustained from a fall during the incident. On April 13, 2023, Newark and Fremont police were involved in an officer-involved shooting on Cedar Boulevard. Suspect, Elmer Lopez Castaneda, 19 of Newark, was found driving a car that was previously stolen on February 14, 2023. While being stopped by police, Lopez Castaneda pulled out a gun, later identified as an airsoft replica of a Beretta M9. Police opened fire, and Lopez Castaneda did not survive despite first aid. The second suspect suffered only minor injuries and was released from the hospital shortly afterwards.
Make sure we clear for weapons. Completely okay.
On May 5, 2023, in Bakersfield, police responded to a report of domestic violence involving Jason Crawford, 41, who may be under the influence of methamphetamine. Crawford allegedly tried to stab someone with a pen. When police arrived, a confrontation occurred in which officers used tasers, batons, and physical force to subdue Crawford. During the struggle, the police officer's body camera fell off. Crawford was then taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition. He was arrested on charges of violence, being under the influence of drugs, assault, and resisting police. On Sunday afternoon, the East Cleveland Police Department released body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting. The incident occurred after police received a call about a man attacking a woman in the middle of Beersford Road and shooting into the air. When the police arrived at the scene, the suspect attacked them. A police officer opened fire, and despite being shot, the suspect continued to struggle with the officers until he was handcuffed. 2 police officers were injured in the incident, one with a broken eye and the other with a broken arm. The female victim, who was attacked, was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The case is currently under further investigation by the Bureau of Criminal Investigation and East Cleveland Police.
Put the bottle down. Yeah, put it down.
At approximately 5:50 p.m. on August 14, 2019, Pacific Patrol officers responded to a call about a man screaming at Thornton Court and Pacific Avenue.
We're just trying to make sure you're all right.
When they arrived at the scene, they encountered suspect John Penny, who was holding a glass bottle. Penny refused to drop the bottle and advanced toward the officers. After deploying the stun gun to no avail, Penny armed herself with a 3-foot wooden plank and continued advancing toward them.
Put it down so I can talk to you. Put the bottle down.
The incident escalated into a shooting, and Penny was shot in the left arm and left thigh. He was treated at the scene and then taken to UCLA Westwood Medical Center. Currently, no officers are injured. The investigation continues with the participation of specialized investigative teams from the LAPD and oversight from judicial representatives.
We need people at that apartment complex.
On March 11, 2021, Louisville Metro Police released body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting.
Hey, stop! He's armed with a knife. Suicide by cop. What's the address? Behind 3 Maple Court. He's cutting this road.
The incident occurred when officers shot Brian Beach, 26, after he tried to attack one of them with a knife. Beach, who is from Simpsonville, Kentucky, ran away after being told he would be charged in a car fire. After a foot chase, Beach was captured by police near Maple Court, where he wielded a knife and physically attacked officers. Even though officers used tasers and other less lethal measures, Beach continued to attack. During the struggle on the ground, officers opened fire, shooting Beach and arresting him. Beach was taken to the hospital for treatment of his injuries, while Officer Michael Connor suffered minor scratches. Beach faces charges of fleeing, resisting arrest, assaulting a police officer, and attempted murder of a police officer.
Excuse me, hi.
On Monday afternoon, Wilshire Boulevard was closed between La Brea and Cloverdale Avenues to investigate an assault involving a Los Angeles Police Department LAPD Wilshire Division officer.
This is his area. Okay.
The incident occurred around 12:45 p.m. when police received a call about an assault with a deadly weapon near Wilshire Boulevard and Detroit Street. At the scene, police discovered a man, later identified as Timothy Camon, 53, brandishing a metal pipe. After trying to get him to put down his weapon, a scuffle broke out and Camon hit a police officer in the head with a metal pipe, causing minor injuries to the police officer. After being treated at the scene, the police released the victim. Camon was arrested after police used a taser and beanbag rounds. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition and arrested for assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer.
7th Lieutenant, we have code 4 in custody.
On May 8, 2023, Pasadena police released vehicle and body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting. The incident occurred when Lloyd Nelson, a San Diego resident formerly of Pasadena, was stopped by police after making an illegal U-turn on Colorado Avenue. After Nelson refused to stop, the pursuit lasted about 20 minutes before ending in a crash. Nelson crashed into a police EOF, then opened fire on the police vehicle and began shooting at an officer. The officer returned fire and hit Nelson, who died at the scene. One officer was accidentally shot in the leg and was taken to the hospital.
Anything towards this shopping center? Possibly?
Possibly, but most towards...
On May 4th, 2019, San Jose police shot Efren Esquivel, 24, after he stole a sheriff's deputy's car and drove at high speed at a police sergeant, James Mason. Esquivel, who was drunk and had near toxic levels of methamphetamine in his system, refused to surrender and tried to crash into officers to escape the blockade.
Hold your... It's not the time to play around. Come on out, buddy. Come on out. I'll explain to you when we're done. Now's the...
When officers discovered Esquivel sitting in a stolen vehicle at an apartment complex, he did not comply with orders and continued driving toward officers. Esquivel crashed into Sergeant Mason, breaking his shoulder and causing other injuries. To protect Sergeant Mason and prevent further danger, police opened fire on Esquivel, resulting in his death at the scene. On March 3, 2022, Deputy Daniel Wilmont of the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office and other sheriff's deputies responded to a call about a stolen brown Kia Sportage SUV.
Correction, the vehicle actually might be occupied. Yes, please.
Upon approaching the vehicle, officers asked the suspect, Jamarian McGee, 30, to voluntarily surrender. McGee failed to comply with orders and reversed the stolen vehicle, crashing into the patrol car where Deputy Wilmont was standing.
I can't see anything.
Deputy Foley deployed his taser through the driver's side window, while Deputy Wilmont fired his rifle through the rear window of the stolen vehicle. McGee continued driving until the vehicle stopped. Officers took McGee out, immobilized him and administered first aid, but he died at the scene. A weapon was also recovered from McGee. At approximately 1:15 p.m. On May 17, 2022 in Los Angeles, the OWB task force was tracking Jaime Vendivel, 43, wanted for assault with a weapon. When police attempted to stop Vendivel's vehicle at Alvarado Avenue and Temple Street, he fled, crashed into one vehicle, and carjacked another. After crashing into another vehicle near 3rd Street and Union Avenue, Vendivel ran into a complex where a police-involved shooting occurred. Vendivel was arrested without being hit and was taken to the hospital with injuries from a traffic collision. His pistol was recovered at the scene. No one else was injured. At approximately 3:49 a.m. on March 29, 2021, in Los Angeles, Rampart patrol officers spotted Matthew Blaylock, 38, walking in an alley with a handgun. When officers asked him to stop, Blaylock refused and fled. After being arrested near 8th Street and Bixel Road, Blaylock pulled out a gun, leading to a police-involved shooting. Blaylock was shot and did not survive at the hospital. His pistol was recovered at the scene. No officers or bystanders were injured. On Monday, April 12th, in Forsyth County, Georgia, police received a report of a reckless driver throwing a suspicious bag near a parking lot. The black Dodge Charger was followed and stopped in the Merchant Square parking lot. When police approached, the driver and 3 passengers fled, leading to a pursuit and stop using the pit technique. Searching the car, police discovered 2 Glock guns, a large magazine, and marijuana. Driver Kushan Hawkins and passengers Javon Sherrod and Contrell Hawkins, both from Chicago, were charged and held on different bail levels. The 3rd passenger, Arrington, was not charged and was released. Around 6:40 p.m. on May 19, 2024, officers from the Southeast Patrol Division in Los Angeles responded to a call about an assault with a deadly weapon in the 100 block of West Colden Avenue. Wilver Blanco, 42 years old, was reported to be carrying a knife and appeared to be under the influence of drugs while chasing an elderly man. Upon arrival, officers saw Blanco holding the knife and ordered him to drop the weapon, but Blanco ignored the commands and charged at them. The police fired shots, wounding Blanco. He was later transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. No officers or other civilians were injured. An 8.12-inch knife was recovered at the scene. On October 11, 2023, at 5 a.m., Thornton police attempted to stop a suspicious vehicle driven by Kyle Williamson, 33 years old. On May 24, 2024, in Baltimore, police patrolling S. Hanover Street noticed a suspicious man and proceeded to question him. When approached, the man, Anthony Ferguson, 39 years old, drew a gun and pointed it at the officers. Despite being ordered to drop the weapon, Ferguson did not comply, leading to a shootout.
You're lucky you didn't hit any of them people.
Ferguson was shot and later died at the hospital, while the officer sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
Just look sharp so I can see you. It was a big enough gun. Nope. There. Whoa.
On May 7, 2024, in Columbus, Ohio, Whitehall police received an alert about a stolen vehicle linked to an armed robbery. The chase began in Whitehall and continued after the 2 suspects switched to another vehicle. During the chase, a stolen Hyundai collided with a police patrol car, damaging 3 vehicles. Eventually, the police used a maneuver that caused the vehicle to crash into a tree, and both juvenile suspects were arrested. Around 9 p.m. on July 3, 2024, in Los Angeles, California, patrol officers stopped a white vehicle at Broadway and Rosecrans Avenue. The suspect, armed with an automatic weapon, suddenly opened fire on the officers, leading to an officer involved shooting OI. After the shooting, the suspect fled. The officers suffered minor cuts and scrapes from broken glass and were taken to the hospital, where they were treated and released the following morning. On July 12, 2024, Malcolm Gus Jr., 31, was arrested and faced multiple charges, including attempted murder of a police officer and weapon possession. Gus was held on $2 million bail and could face life in prison if convicted.
Why are you guys running from John?
On Sunday, January 27, 2024, in Lathrop, California, police responded to a domestic violence call involving Juan Valdez, 40.
Hey, does John have any weapons right now?
Well, yeah, there's only knives and stuff in the house.
Does John carry a gun? Hey, John, what's going on right now?
He will fight back.
Hey, Tino, stop that car if he takes on.
After Valdez fled, a car chase ensued. He attempted to carjack a vehicle on Interstate 5, clinging to the victim's car window. When the victim stopped, Valdez tried to enter the car through the passenger door. An officer fired 2 shots at Valdez.
He's trying to carjack a victim vehicle holding on.
Valdez was taken to the hospital and later detained at the San Joaquin County Jail. He faces charges of carjacking, false imprisonment, and resisting arrest. When approaching the suspect, Kavon Reagan, 22, Reagan fired at the officers, wounding Sergeant Joshua Scott. After Reagan refused to surrender and continued shooting, he was shot and killed at approximately 11:47 a.m. 5 other people, including 3 children, were inside the house, all of whom were unharmed.
Armor, your guy's pinned down or to the south. You need to go south. Yeah, this K5 was shot fired. I was taking rounds over here when Armor came into the intersection.
On August 30th, 2021, in West Melbourne, Florida, Deputy Brian Potters stopped a vehicle on US 192. When passenger Paris Wilder, 38, pulled out a rifle and began shooting at the deputies, Deputy Tyler Toman arrived to assist.
I'll watch it for you. He's all right. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell.
Wilder attacked Deputy Potters, severely injuring him. Both deputies returned fire, shooting Wilder multiple times. Wilder was pronounced dead at the scene. He had a criminal record with 23 felony arrests and 17 misdemeanor arrests. On April 17, 2024, La Darius Williams, 27, stole an ambulance from Piedmont Henry Hospital and recklessly drove through multiple areas in Morrow, Georgia.